Welcome to the Heart of the Matter podcast, where we have honest and vulnerable conversations about life and relationships. Like we said, don't think that you're going to come out here with your clothes on. We getting bug naked. That's right. You're not necessarily praised for your successes. No, not here. That's cool, though. But we want your vulnerability about your challenges and your failures, because that's where the growth is. I'm your boy, Christopher Doc Reed, life and relationship coach, here with the homie in crime, Poop. What's up, bro?
What's happening? What's good?
You feeling good about this one?
Feeling great, man. Feeling great.
Man.
Yeah, some good stuff.
We got a good one today.
Yeah,
These two brothers, oh boy, they hit hard in the late 90s. And when they came on the scene, they weren't playing no games. Songs like No More, right? No More. Someone to Love You, chart toppers. And let me tell you this about the vocals. When these brothers sing, I'm talking about soul. They sing from you know what I mean? Now, I know it had to be a lot of silk and laundry on the stage, Jack. I know it had to be a lot. You know what I mean? Okay. Hey, welcome Dave and Dante to the podcast, better known as Ruff.
Ruff in, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's up, fellas?
Man, what's up, brother?
What's up with you?
Man, it is such an honor for y'all to be here, man. I appreciate it. Apparently, this guy, Pookie, he got some pull, I guess. I don't know why people like
guys,
him.
Man.
Yeah, so what did y'all do with all that laundry, man, on the stage? Y'all open a Victoria's Secret, man? Nah, man, when you brothers sing, bro, yeah. See, I'm not used to that. Man. Pook's used to that. He's got a lot of laundry.
Man, it's one thing I can say. It's playing a lot for a lot of guys. Like, you have some guys that really... They're good at what they do, but they deliver with the vocals, and their performance levels are high. Y'all they can sing. You know what I mean?
Man, appreciate it.
Definitely. There's some guys that really just can.
Yeah, they're gonna like say push the backgrounds up and all that. So we drown out our vocals. The fact that we can't sing.
They can sing.
We know the games, man. But hey, let's get into this, man. So what we do here is, you know, like I said, we get to the heart of the matter. And listen, the world knows Ruff Endz. Okay, they know singers, performers. All right, and that's dope. But we want to get into the men. You know, husbands, fathers, brothers, whatever, okay? Because a lot of times we don't have an opportunity to do that. Exactly. And so the guys are singing the love songs that's making the ladies just swoon. Well, the deal is, how did y'all even learn about love, right? So I'm going to ask y'all, and whoever wants to go first, dig into it. But when you were growing up, what did your parents teach you about love and relationships?
That's a loaded question. Definitely being a writer and an R&B singer, that's one of the things we promote very heavily, like on our show. Taking it back. So, no one really gave us the handbook. So that's the thing that...
Did you grow up with both parents in the home?
No.
Okay.
No. But I saw I spent time with my dad at times. I was mostly staying with my mom.
Okay.
But at the same time, I know people that had their mother and father in the house.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody really sitting you down and giving you the handbook when it comes to what love really is. Like, how does it really look?
Absolutely.
Like, how does love treat one another?
Right.
You're talking about two or more people, whatever the case is. So, most of us are just figuring it out on our own. We're taking bits and pieces of stuff that we see and people tell us, and we're just trying to figure it out as men. So a lot of us, when we fall hard. I mean hard, like on the marble floor with socks on type hard.
Right.
And it's like,
slipping, Jack.
And even at that part, there's no handbook and nobody there to really tell us and guide us how to deal with our emotions, our hurt, our anger, resentment. So, I mean, none of us was taught. My perception of love was very obscure, my put it like this. My first concept of love was an abusive relationship. 'Cause that's all I really saw.
Gotcha.
Growing up from young. I'm talking before I had a girlfriend, anything.
Now, who was being abused?
I'm looking at my cousin and his girl, my uncle and his girl, like different people. Like, you know, you look at these people you look up to.
Right, right. Too,
yeah,
right? Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
You look up to them for different things. A lot of things is observed and not even to talk about.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff we learn is observed. So I'm looking at them like, the little puppy love I got is fake. We don't never argue, fuss, or fight on each other. She don't chase me down the street. I don't chase her. So I'm looking at all this like, they really in love.
That's what
like they really in love. Because you got to be really in love to do that.
Yeah.
You got to be in love.
Because it's intense. Because what you saw is intense, man. So
it's
you
intense. Ain't nothing rivaling that.
Yeah.
Y'all born little love. Y'all don't argue. Like, girl broke up with me because she said, we don't never argue, so it can't be real.
Oh, wow.
She told you that?
Man, and probably more words than that. She said,
hey, man, say what you want to say, man.
It was like, I'm lame and I'm a cornball for not arguing or want to argue with you when you pick a fight.
Oh, wow.
I mean, so our perception of it is like cold, gray, dragged on the ground, set up in the corner, like
toxic.
Now,
toxic. No, I was saying like toxic. It looks toxic, right? Because you're looking at in different ways, and plus
you don't know it's toxic.
You don't know it's toxic, right? Because as a youngin, you only see it, right? And you see it, and it becomes normal. So when it comes normal, you like, I gotta rival this or do this in order for this to be okay. Especially like if it's like your cousin or uncle that you think is cool, and you're like, yo, I need some of that in order to be okay, right? Like, when can I look like that to somebody else? And then when you get a little girl, you like, mine ain't quite. It ain't quite like that. It ain't. Yeah. So yours is a little different. What about you, Dave? How was yours?
Because the question, he said, "Who taught you?" is what he originally said.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I don't know if Dante really. And did Dante answer your question? Because sometimes he said he was saying we ain't. I'm like, did you answer the question personally? You know what I mean? Did he answer? Because you got it. I'm just putting it out there now.
I felt he got at it.
You got what you want.
I started off by saying nobody gave us the handbook.
Yeah,
right? At one point or the other, whether it was love, heartache, heartbreak,
right,
finding the girl,
right.
Exception of finding that girl was
you asked the question was, what did you learn? Is what it was.
Well, no, who taught you? No. You said what did your parents teach you about love?
Exactly.
And now, when I say teach you, that can be by what they told you or what they showed you.
Exactly.
Because we learn. I mean, we whatever's modeled in front of us, that's what we're learning. So we're gonna take something away from it. So what did you get, Dave?
I got so many things, man. I think it's the foundation of who I am. I was one of many. I mean, not one of many. I probably was the only one that had a mother and father in my neighborhood growing up. So when Dante used to live in my area, Dante meaning this brother right here, again, he was a single raised by his mom, you know what I mean? So, and then you talking about an area where drugs and alcohol is like prevalent, you know what I mean? Right. So, you know, from if you're not a wino, you a junkie, you know what I mean? So, and if you on the younger side, you hustling, you know what I mean? Or either or. So it's like it was a crazy time, crazy environment, a lot going on, you know what I mean? And it's a lot, pretty much everybody I know, only one other person I knew had, even though it wasn't his parents, he still had like a mother and father kind of figure. And it was my brother, my man, Curdy Kirk. He was like my best friend growing up as well. And we connected because he had like two, parents in the household, but it was really his grandparents were like his parents. You know what I mean?
They had that good, I guess, foundation there.
Yeah. His grandfather was like a father. His grandmother was like a mother. You know what I mean? So
now, did your parents, was it their relationship? Was it Gucci? Was it everything was good? Was it
my dad was a pastor. Mom, grew up in a Christian home. My family's originally from Guyana, South America, so that's a whole nother story for real. Culture. So it was like that was the culture in our house. So I'm the youngest of 10 brothers and sisters. Let me put it out there.
Wow.
Okay,
So
I thought he had a
same
lot.
mother, same father. So it's like, we was like the children of Israel leaving Guyana. Let my people go.
Right.
Crazy leaving that joint. So, but we came to, we made it here to America. Boom, 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 and it was a lot of, I would say, I think how guy, and we love is love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every culture loves a little different. The Japanese people love a certain way.
Absolutely.
Caribbean people, our love might be a certain kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
But my dad was a strict person. My mom was my mom, like any other mom, loving mom. But my dad definitely was.
He controlled in the house because
Yeah.
Caribbean is more of a patriarchal culture.
Yeah.
With
The man run the house.
runs, yeah.
And being a Christian as well. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
it's it's from a religious perspective as well. So and we was very, my dad was a wonderful father as far as an example. Wonderful husband, never did anything, great example.
Did you say this is what I want? Like when you saw your parents, did you say this is it? When I start dating and I go out, this is what I'm going to try to emulate.
That's exactly what it said. That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what all of my brothers and sisters said. And I think it's one of the things that it is the biggest achievement of my life is finding what my mom and dad had as I found it. And I thank God for it.
Now, how long ago did you
20
find it?
years. It's been 20
That's
years.
what's up.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
It's been 20 years.
Now, see, I looked for that in my parents, but I failed like 2 or 3 times, right? Because I was looking for the mom first, because I was the son that had
His parents were pastors.
pastors also. So I was a
okay.
kid.
Okay.
So I was a black sheep, right? I had first one to have a kid out of wedlock. But growing up, my dad was it. It was nothing went further than him. So it was never a challenge in my house. I've never seen my dad argue with my mama. I ain't never seen my mom. I've never seen that. So to me, looking for that, I seen that after they went through everything, right? So when I'm a kid, I'm not seeing my mom challenging my dad on any. We stayed out. We was in a singing group. We would stay out he had us practicing all day, traveling all over the country,
Jackson's.
doing, you know what I mean? So it was never one of them, don't keep my kids out late. It was never a challenge. So trying to find someone like that was like, where you gonna find somebody that fits the model of your mom? You know what I mean?
And here's the answer to that.
I about to say, you don't want my answer.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
We do. We want the. It's. I think it can seem like, because I've been on both sides. I've been where at one point before meeting my wife, I felt like, especially getting into music and all of that, you don't know what the person is really looking at you for when you're in the music and you're in the limelight and you're a celebrity and all that kind of stuff. Right. And just as a man, like, just as crazy out here, you know what I mean? So, but anyway, I'm gonna stop it because I want to get my man in here first. So I'm gonna stop and come back. But I want to get you in there. You go, because I know Dante loaded
pull
right now.
that mic a little.
Dante
just bend
loaded.
it a little closer to you if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we want all the Barry White you gonna give us.
Yeah, he got a lot of Barry
Ladies and
White.
gentlemen, thank you.
Yeah. Because you said no, we don't want your answer. Yeah, we do want your answer.
Well,
Yes, we do.
this conversation I was having yesterday with a good friend of mine, Terry, it's like 4-hour conversation. It's crazy. And then we hit a lot of these areas that we're kind of talking about and some more. Basically, I feel like men are at a disadvantage. I feel like we've been at a disadvantage for a while, but the disadvantage is because, first of all, when we marry in this country, we basically are signing over our marriage to the government. So like they're the head of your relationship. So they say what goes on when y'all split, who get what, kids, money, house, all of that.
Yeah.
So, but raising women and men in America is a big part of the problem, because it's like the boys are being raised to be respectful to women and do all this and do all that, but how are the females being raised? Are the females being raised
That's a great question.
to respect the man, to this, that, and the other? No, it's get you a man with some money that can take care of you. Well,
we've had that conversation. Yeah.
Well,
what you teach your son, make sure you do this and do that. But do we hear that same conversation about, listen, daughters, when you find this is how you make sure you make him feel respected, you make him feel appreciated, and you don't hear that conversation.
You can tell the conversation doesn't happen because it shows up on the table. You know, it's like mother telling me for years, respect the woman, don't hit her, do this, treat her like this, buy flowers. And I'm using my mom's practice. I'm bringing her little dandelions and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And it's to see the smile of her face is the payment. That's everything.
That's bruh.
But vice versa, looking back, you know, they say life can be best understood and reversed, but can only be lived forward. But looking back at it, I'm looking at it like, so while I'm doing this, and this is basically my training as a future man, husband, confidant, that's a good kind of man. On the other side, how was the women being raised? Are they being raised to be my other half? Or to just look for somebody that's going to elevate them? But they're not bringing that balance. And that's what I feel like a lot of times. I feel like they're pushing traditional values, but we're not getting traditional values back.
100%. I think that was one thing that me and him speak about all the time. And because he is a relationship coach and life coach, I told him, I'm like, I've noticed a huge difference, right? My mom would be the first one to say 2 incomes better than 1, right? So she believes in working. Now, the agenda that you hear and see on social media now, find you a man that's going to take care of you. Find you a man. It's almost, he's just good enough to take care of you, buy purses, buy this. But how do you go and what are you bringing to help out at home? Like, how are you showing him appreciation? He just can't be good enough to just pay bills. There's got to be something else that he's good enough for, right? And how are you making that presentable for a woman, right? To say, what type of respect are you giving? What type of respect are you shown? What type of respect are you giving to him in order for him to feel like the man that wants to present that to you, right? And that is, since we both have daughters, right? I got 2 daughters. He got daughters, yeah. And it's like, I always tell my daughters, like, it don't matter how mad you are, man. Don't walk up in a man's face. Don't be pointing in his face. Don't raise your hand to a man. No matter how mad you are.
I always say that.
You cannot beat a man. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm like, and to me, because I hate the stereotype, you got to take it because you're a man, right? Don't hit on me. I don't want to hit on you. Just don't hit on me, right? So it's like, show the mutual respect. But you can't say I'm supposed to take the abuse because I'm a man. I got feelings. It hurts when you hit me. You know what I mean? So it's like, but that it's not a stereotype. It has been something to me that's been pushed. A man's supposed to take everything. No. I think that's bullcrap.
Which is one of the craziest, worst realities for us when you think about it. And it just almost had me in tears one day because I'm just thinking about the kids that's coming after us, the children that's coming after us. Like, kids I might have helped raise is probably like 14, 15 now. And it's like, I wonder if anybody had these kind of conversations with him. Right. Because there's a rude awakening when it really hits you. Like, so every relationship I'm going to be in, I'm going to be at a disadvantage. I got to, you know what I mean? Because it's like, it's getting worse. It's like,
you could ask that question. Now, you don't have to be at that disadvantage. But at the same time, the reality that you might be dealing with is the slim pickings of those who might have been taught. Because, like, so I got 2 daughters. Like you said, when my daughters were growing up, they're 22 and 18 now. I would tell them, when daddy comes in from the house after I cut the grass, you tell me I did a great job. And what I was training them to do is to appreciate what a man does. And they took it on and made it a game. They wanted to see who could tell me first, because I knew one day they was going to be in a relationship with a man, okay? And then this is how you show, okay, tell him this. Like when you said you took the dandelions to your mom, the reaction is everything. you didn't want nothing else from her, your mother, but to appreciate what she did. And she was like, oh, is that for me?
Right.
Man, I went and took every dandelion I could find in the neighborhood and brought it just to get that. But it has to be taught to our daughters. And I think it's important for the mothers definitely to teach it. But I think it's dope for fathers because we know how men are wired.
Yeah.
So it's dope for us to teach our daughters, listen, I want a man that either going to treat you as good as I treat you or better. But at the same time, this is what you have to present. And I saw on social media, you might have sent me the video where someone said, a young lady was like, if you want this from a man, what is he getting in return for that? That's a simple question. But if you want this, and this, what are you giving him in return? So, Dave.
Yeah.
20 years.
20 years.
You seem happy.
I'm definitely. Of course, been through the. Of course, we've been through the turbulence now.
Okay.
I had to go through some turbulence. You know what I mean?
Right.
I had to go through some growth. I had to go through a lot of those things. You know what I mean?
On your part, on her part, or
on
both?
We both. You know what I mean? But definitely on my part. Like, definitely. I mean, she had growing to do, but it's different. You know what I mean? Her childhood was different. We're like two different worlds collide. You know what I mean? So it's like, my world was different than hers. So it's like, you know, my upbringing was different.
Was you expecting it was going to look like your parents right out the gate? Like, were you thinking that's what you were going to have?
I didn't know what to expect. You don't know what to expect. It happened so fast. You know what I mean? It happened like, it seemed like it happened so fast. Cause it's like, you know, as a man not wanting to settle down, I wasn't really trying to be in a relationship. We was, you know, I was, you know, Ruff Endz. I was the beginning of our career. I'm like, I'm about to go in 20 years. I'm going in for 20 years. Like, I ain't trying to like be in love. You know, I just want to have fun, blah, blah, blah. And that's kind of what I was doing. But, you know, I love how, my wife was, her name is India. She was just like, look, I don't just have sex with my friends. You know what I mean? So you gotta figure out what it is you want to do. And when you figure it out, you call me. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Now, did that make her stand out from all the other ones?
You already got that. Oh no! How many? You already feeling what kind of woman? Y'all like that, don't you?
Ends,
you know
right?
what I mean?
They just, like I said, on the stage, a lot of lingerie. So
That's
she was different, though.
She was different. She was like, nah, I feel you and all that. Man. But the thing is, you like when a woman is confident in herself. I don't care who you are, Ruff, whoever, blah, blah, blah. You can have any girl, but this is who I am.
Oh, yeah.
I'm here. This is how I'm rolling. If you want to roll with me and do it the right way, then
so sexy,
holla
man.
at me.
That's so sexy.
How can you not respect that? Standards.
Yes,
It was so many potentials out there that blew it. And it was just because their standards was low, even though I had some low standards. You know, we all got them standards that we don't want to talk about. Them low standards that was so low. They in the basement closet, some daggone where we got them low.
But you know, they say nobody rises to low expectations, right?
Exactly.
So when her expectations was here, you was like, okay, I can get up there.
Exactly, and that's what she wanted. And I was like, and I felt like timing was off and blah, blah, blah. So I kind of like tried to chill, pump the brakes on it. And it was kind of like, then all of a sudden I had to go ahead and make a decision. And even though I felt like I wasn't ready. I felt now looking back, it was all destiny. You know what I mean? Because my son was born, like, she's an entrepreneur now. I'm an entrepreneur now. Like, she loves God. I love God. Like, you know, we share a lot of the same values. I'm vegan. She's vegan. Like,
that's dope.
Like, it's literally destiny. I believe in soulmates. She's, you know, I believe that God got somebody for you. Mm-hmm. God, that's the woman that God got for you. You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah. She was made for me. And when that's there,
it's dope. It's dope that you say that, man. Because a lot of people don't believe that exists. One, because they've never found it. They've never seen it. I'm sitting next to somebody who used to believe that.
Yeah, you're right.
But he believe now.
Nah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm telling you, it exists. I seen it with my parents. I'm telling you, I'm talking about this is how my parents got married. They broke the Bible, bro. They both just opened up the word. They both had their Bible in their hand. They both opened up the Bible to the same scripture. And it was Joseph and Mary, and it said, fear not to take unto thee Mary thy wife. And they were in Guyana, were poor, they didn't have no money or nothing. It cost money to get married, like a couple dollars. And they were like when I mean broke, it ain't like America broke. America broke is paid.
No.
Right.
Ain't no welfare in Guyana.
Right.
Ain't no, you know what I mean?
None of that.
So a lady had a dream about my father, a white lady from Canada. And a long story short, this is the work of God, I'm telling you. She's the reason why my parents got married, and she set them up, got them money to get their first little house and everything.
Wow.
In Baltimore, a church named Rehoboth, they did a mission trips to Guyana, and they went to Guyana, did this mission trip. Lo and behold, there was this man that was doing miracles, you know, telling people about what they did last night. Like, I'm talking about personal stuff.
He had it
that
for real.
Was my father.
Be a lot of prophet lies out here, but that person had it for real.
That was the real deal. So that was my father. So this church came back to America. They was talking about it. People was so blown away that they sent for him to come speak. They came to speak. Same thing happened. Casting out devils, all kind of stuff. Praying for people, miracles. They was so blown away, they sent for his family. And that's how we came to America, bro. That's how we got here. So, I mean, this is a whole nother podcast. But I needed to let you know that destiny is a real thing, bro.
No, it is.
It's a real thing. You know what I mean? So,
I thank you.
You know what I mean? So, it's real. So, when you trust and believe in the Creator and you align yourself, then things will fall into place. And for people that are fishing in the wrong pools, there are some people looking in the wrong pool. You're going to come up with the same gilly, whatever you call them kind of fish.
Gilly monster.
What do you call them for kind of fish? The ones you don't want, I don't know. But you them gully, I don't know. But you're going to get the same ones every time. And but if you go in another pond, you realize that these people do think different. There is people that do want a relationship. There's people that niggas out here that ain't playing games. You know what I mean? That really want a woman. You know what I mean? So you just got to look the right places and be in the right community of people that want the same thing you do. And that's just really what it is.
Go ahead, Dante.
So
now that was dope though.
We got to this part of the conversation. We was talking about this, like what he's saying. You know, it is real.
Yeah.
But 2024. This is what I said, and it started another whole 2-hour stint of the conversation. We are dealing with women that are basically, a lot of them that are raised to be like chameleons. So it's like, all right, for instance, I was in a relationship where there were parts of this female I didn't know about until like 4 years later. How do you play a role for 4 years?
Like what? What did she do 4 years later?
Like stuff you don't like, stuff you don't want to do. Like bowling. Say for instance, like bowling. Like I started into getting the bowling. Like stress relief bowling.
Yeah.
Other than fishing. And she would even bring it up sometime. Oh, I ordered us a thing. Let's go bowling. Yeah. So,
oh my God.
So in my mind, I'm like, okay, you know, okay, let's go bowling. I'm like, Fresh, you want to go bowling? I like to bowl too.
Yeah,
Not knowing that she never liked it from day one.
Oh my God.
She hated it from day one. She didn't like it. So to me, I'm like, first of all, I feel like a fool. Don't have convincing me that you like something that you don't like, right. And I'm pumped up that you going, that you like it like I like it. That's just like, it's so deceitful. But I'm like, if you can hide that, what else can you be hiding?
For sure. Mm-hmm.
So to me, a part of the conversation that started yesterday was like, we're dealing with women that are being raised to hide and keep things from you until they get what they want. And that's not honest. That's not right. You know what I mean? On so many levels, you can say what you want. Here, man, here, handle it. And that's another part. You feel like our pain is different pain.
Yeah.
You hit your knee and I hit my knee, it's gonna be a different kind of pain.
Right.
Right? That a lot of women honestly think like this. So you got that piece with, and I'm gonna stop right here. And you got that piece with the half thing. So a lot of women, since over the last 20, 30 years, making money, got degrees, all of this kind of stuff, right? Which is great, which is fine. I love to see my people, women, human beings, period, just succeed in life. But it's like, because you've done this, whether it was on by yourself or whoever, but you got it, makes you a different person in a relationship now. It's like you can't be the woman because I'm strong. I'm this, that. So it's like you,
the masculine,
right? You lose a part of your femininity, or you lose a part of your respect. And a lot of it boils down to respect. Like, you feel like you don't have to respect them as much because you make money or you pay half.
Exactly.
So unless I'm paying everything, I don't get the same respect.
Yeah,
that is.
That's another podcast.
That's a whole nother podcast right there.
Man,
we came up with about 2 or 3 different podcasts.
You gotta go back on this and just pick them, write them down. Podcast number 5.
When y'all gonna be back in town?
I think all the conversations needed to be had about the relationships, because people are not having these conversations. Most people are not hearing some of the stuff we're talking about, so they're not even going to ask themselves the question: am I the problem? Am I like that?
Yeah.
Am I wrong? Like, do I treat people like that?
Yeah.
Most people will never ask themselves the question.
Nah, I think piggybacking off of that, most of the time it is how you were raised, right?
Yeah.
The respect, people have different levels of what respect is, right? My pops was really, really huge on giving respect, and he demanded respect. So respect looked different. Yeah. And when you're not raised to like my fiance now, she was raised with her mom's a pastor, and her respect for men and how she deals with men, to me, we align, right? So it doesn't feel disrespectful for her to feel like she's helping or doing things or helping the family for us to grow, right? And when he said that, me going through the marriages I went through, I chose him because I needed a mom figure for my kids. I was never in love, but I'm like, okay, this will work, right? This is somebody I can help raise and my kids with, because I wanted to have the model of what I seen at home, right?
Exactly.
So I'm like, 2-parent household should be better than the one, right? So went through that, ended to them all wrong. But going through the divorces and then having the government get into, right? When you're taught how to work hard, represent to where it is a lesson, right? You can carry blunt of what it is financially, right? Get into business, working the 9 to 5, doing some other stuff. When you divorce, then you have already been assuming a lot of this responsibility. And since you made this lifestyle to be a little easier for them, then the courts take into consideration how much you make versus how much they make, even though you've been working your butt off to try to make it easy. Now you're penalized for working so hard and making it easy, and then have to pay the money, have to pay the child support, have to pay the alimony, and give up half of everything that you done earned and worked. And then that's a conversation me and him get into, to say, hey, the government to me is never fair to be inside of a marriage, right? It's never fair, right? But when the part I take ownership for is going into it knowing I wasn't in love with this person. I really wanted a mom figure for my kids, right? So lining up and having somebody to say, hey, I have found somebody that I know is like, I vowed to, I'm never doing this. I ain't doing at all. Wind up aligning and finding somebody that's now has the same values I have, no kids, no this, that, and the other, whatever. And never, when I say never tripping, but she lines up with the value that I know my mom has. My mom has those values of he's a man. This is what's going on. I trust him. I respect it.
To clear this up, are you saying your values was no kids? Because you said she has the same values.
No. The values
of
the respect.
Clean
that up.
Can't have no kids out here.
Exactly. The core values of how respect looks, right? Mm-hmm. And because certain things to me, I just know never was an argument. Mm-hmm. And my dad said, "We going to church today?" Yeah, we always going to church. It wasn't a discussion. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it wasn't like he was acting as the Lord over anybody.
Exactly.
But
that's just how it was.
It's how it was. You know what I mean? So it's like, and my mom never questioned why I got to go to work. Yeah. Why I got to help at home. Why I got to cook. It was never, so to me, those are value systems that's like, okay, I know what I'm supposed to do to help out for the family. Mm-hmm. So it shouldn't be, well, he should be doing everything. I got all these kids. Exactly. And this, you know what I mean? So the values of it look different. Right. But getting out dating and running into women that do have expectations to think that you're supposed to do everything and pamper me while I sit at home and, like you said, play the chameleon or the role of let me do this enough in order to win him over, only to find out that they value system ain't the same of what you know a woman would be. Exactly. And it doesn't diminish a woman or man to say you're a respectful guy, you know what I mean? And she should be a feminine person and woman in order for us to be able to date, have things together and grow. But it shouldn't be one should have to come down for the other, right?
One shouldn't have to come down.
So is the problem our vetting process? Yeah. They are the way they are. But is it that we haven't been schooled to vet?
Hallelujah. Now we opening up a new can of worms.
Yeah, that's another podcast. So what I'm saying is, like, we go for a job, right? Mm-hmm. Some jobs you go for is so serious, especially if it's like a government job, depending on levels of security access. Yep. It may take you a year because of the security clearance, and they're going to go interview your second grade teacher and all that. Exactly. And I'm not saying to do that for a relationship, but I'm saying how much more important is who we give our heart to. And a lot of times, especially us as guys, we're visual, right? We see them and we like, oh, yeah. And if she cooking and all that in the beginning, we may be thinking it's going to always be that way. But we don't get down into that.
The chameleon? Mm-hmm. The chameleon knows how to change colors. They will change color.
They can
for 2-3 years.
Yeah,
like I thought you was.
But is there a way we can find out that this?
Like how do you? That's what I'm saying. Yes, how do you? What I'm saying is how do you do that? Yes, how do you do that?
Okay, now that's the question.
Because
that's the question, Dante.
You got some people that are, bro. They're just masterminds.
So with her, how much when
it's
y'all
their
met,
everything.
No,
so if something is your everything, what are you not going to do to get it?
It's some good. It's some real good ones out there. When y'all met, right? How much did you ask her about her childhood and her previous relationships?
That's the thing. It's a double-edged sword because it's like while we're talking, all of these, you hang up. No, I'm gonna hang up. You hang up. On the phone, 3 hours, that's the 4 or 5 in the morning. Right, no doubt. To me, I look at it and always looked at it like that's when you really are interrogating and asking questions. Okay. That's when you really want to know. That's when you talk, and then you let them talk and really listen to what they saying and what they don't say. Mm-hmm. It's like if you've had enough practice.
Well, how long were you talking to her at that point?
For months, a while. We ain't do nothing sexual. Close to a year. We ain't do nothing sexual or nothing for a while. She wouldn't even really try and give me none. You know what I mean? Like we was for a while. So that intrigued me too. I'm saying so that intrigued me too because like you said, she was trying to put herself in another box. But then it's like me being that natural detective, I'm the type of brother that I could find out some information and control my emotions and not say nothing because I want to see what it is about. Like, you know, like
what is it gonna lead to? What
is it the string to a sweater? And I pull the string and the whole sweater unravel. Is this that piece?
I'm looking for that.
Let me sit here and just look and wait and see. And when things show up, it just changed how I feel. I can't help it.
How was she raised? What did she?
That's what I was gonna get to.
Mother, father.
Okay.
Brothers, sisters,
And
big family.
Mother, father
was together.
Okay, but together
together
good.
They was together too. One of them passed, and the other one passed. Like they was together till they passed.
And what was her relationship like to them?
Tight.
Tight with
That's
both?
what she said?
Tight. Yes.
Oh, you know that for sure.
I know that for sure. I've been around them.
But here's the deal.
She cooked for me.
Here's the deal. And I'm only saying this because this is what I do all day, every day, ask these questions, right? So might be tight now, but when she was growing up, how was it?
She said they had a great relationship. And the mom, I might be telling too much.
Yeah, I don't want you to get in trouble out here. Yeah.
The mom, put it like this: me and the mom talked a lot. She used to love me.
Okay.
So when things went wrong, and the father. So when things went wrong in the relationship, that's what I'm looking at. Like.
What did they say about
how you switch?
What did they say about her? Like, did they say we don't know why she? You know,
I don't know, because I ain't never go back that far to go back to talk to them or whatever.
Okay, I thought y'all had that kind of rapport.
But whenever I would talk to her, like later when we did start speaking again, she was like talking about how much my mom asks about you and this and that and other. And in my mind, I'm thinking, just like I feel about men, like how do so many men treat so many women bad, but 90%, 98% of these men will murder you if you say something about their mom. So where's the disconnect? Where's though you would get to this person and
appreciation?
Yeah, but at the same time, most of us know our moms ain't perfect. My mom dabbled in drugs and all kind of stuff. Like that didn't change how deep my love was or is for her. You feel what I'm saying? Like
I think that's a natural built-in God-given connection between child and parent and
that's in our DNA.
But this is one thing that I think a lot of us are not raised with, so we don't really see what we're talking about from a certain perspective. Whether it's your wife, or whoever, we're not raised to hold nothing sacred anymore.
True.
Ooh.
When the last time you even heard somebody speak the words that I'm saying right now? See, to me, that's what would get me in trouble, but at the same time, I feel like it made me a good man in relationships when I was a good man, because I looked at them like they were sacred. Like my daughter, mother, we've been through.
That's a dope word, though.
Craziness. She did all kind of crazy stuff to me. In relationships, I mean, we wasn't together for like 15 years. She was still doing and saying stuff to girls. I'm trying to meet somebody I'm dealing with and tell them about stuff in the past. I would never tell her this, but to me, because it's my principle, that's personal to me, I'm gonna always hold her sacred. Like, I'm never going down talk her to her mom, even though she might have did it to me 100 times. That still shouldn't change the quality in you as a good person, whether you're a woman or a man.
Right.
Trying to get back at somebody that wronged you, that did you wrong. Like, that's a big problem we have. Like, our people, period.
Oh, yeah.
You'll change who you are just to get back at somebody else.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's the thing about hurt people hurt, but like that's the thing about dysfunction. It continues. It's what I like to call the law of after its kind, which is what God started in Genesis 1. With everything after its kind. So when something happens, it tends to. It's like what's the law? Something in motion tends to stay in motion. Exactly. Right. It's like that kind of a thing. So, but yeah, man. I mean, I think there's so many layers to this. You know, I think,
it's dope we having the conversation. Men.
It's important.
It's very important. We've been silent for a long. Ain't that we didn't have anything to say, but oftentimes we felt like it wasn't safe to say it.
Are we too emotional?
Safe space.
When we speak, we feel.
No.
I'm just saying that's
they don't think we have emotion.
That's the thing that make you shut down. That's like that trick that make you shut down. Oh, you butt hurt.
Yeah.
Or you in your feelings.
Yep.
Because if we are emotional, which we might not just be vulnerable, but it's like, do you know how to handle our vulnerability? Because we could be like a turtle. You don't see us stick out again. Because once you done showed us, pop.
Exactly.
Like,
it's over.
No, I'm good.
Right.
It's over.
Right.
And then we become, he's cold.
Yeah.
He don't express feelings. He don't care about nothing.
Like when homegirl told you when you was growing up, she was like, "You boring." Like
I was lame because we never got in an argument. We never got in a fight.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna show you that I can be that dog. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that's where you went, but I'm just saying you could be like, I ain't showing that to somebody again. So where did it send you?
But the damage is, at some point, it's like living in the hood. It's like everybody in the hood ain't a gangster,
Right.
not a killer. You ain't hard. You ain't no drug dealer. But it's like a lot of us, we got to take on some of these attributes to survive and have some kind of life of quality where people ain't messing with you every day,
Respect.
trying to rob you. Oh, I slap your
Law of
sister.
environment.
Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? So we got to take on some of these attributes to even survive. Same thing in relationships.
Exactly.
It's like
To adapt.
It's like the last woman that I showed and told what I really felt. When we had an argument, she brought up all this
All
stuff.
of it. Yeah.
Oh, somebody, that's why somebody touched you when you was a boy. Like crazy shit. Like what?
Right.
Like what? Like so now you're talking about
Nothing
you're
safe.
talking about the effect of just being near the light. So you talking about people that may have heard the argument and wasn't even going through it and was like, oh, I ain't put myself in that situation.
Right.
You know what I mean? So not just that man, anybody in the vicinity that catches way of what's happening, it affects them.
The collateral damage.
So we it's a lot of conversations we gotta have.
All right,
bro.
nah, man. That's
They all important to
This
me.
is what we do
It's-
every
yeah,
day.
yeah.
I
This
love
is-
what y'all doing, brother. I love it.
this
I
is
love
the
it. What made
reason
you
why
come up
we
with the
do it.
concept, man?
Because this is what we do every day.
Every day,
Like
man.
this, I've always been this dude. Like I'm 53. I've always been this. I'm not interested in surface level conversations. Never have been.
That's what's up.
So when I'm talking, I like football, so that's about as surface as I get. But other than that, I told people I live in the deep and I visit the surface. So actually, when I first started, it was my wife and I. We did one called Opposites Attack. You know about marriage and how you know, it should bring us this, but sometimes it does this.
That's nice.
And then we spin off, and then Pook and then my other dude Joey, they was both going through divorces. I say, man, let's get in front of these mics, man, and talk about your experience. And then it just kept going, and guys wanted to talk, and something about that chair that you in, Dante.
I know, right?
They get to crying.
Hey.
When you said earlier, man, it made me. I was gonna cry just thinking about. I was like, "Oh, we got us one."
We got that hot seat.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the
So-
deep thing
But
is
we need
about
that
us talking.
outlet, though.
We need it.
I'm a mental health advocate, especially for men, because we don't have an outlet. We get shut down a lot, and we don't express a lot of our feelings.
That's what's wrong with
And
our young
that's
boys.
a ticking
It comes
time
out
bomb.
as anger.
That's it.
Yeah, that's
That's it.
exactly.
How does it show up? When it shows up, how is it going to show up?
Yeah, that's exactly the reason why I'm like, we don't have these conversations. Men don't talk to men.
man.
You know what I'm saying?
That's just
like
not good.
women all day talk to each other
Oh,
about their
man.
feelings. They'll talk and see what's going on, and girl, and this, and then us, me and him would get on the phone every day. And, you know, that was my outlet to talk. And then going to some counselors and stuff. So transitioning out of church and just being taught growing up, just pray about everything, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, yo, I needed something outside of the prayer, right? Because I'm
be
living with
practical,
life, you know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah,
So it's
exactly.
like, where do we turn to that's outside of that? And then we start talking and start getting involved with really like sharing things with other men. Because you could be going through the same thing I'm going through, but because you never say nothing about it, you know what I mean? You can have something that can plant a seed to help me out. But because we're not comfortable with talking or bringing it up, then it
Y'all both
keeps
going
it.
through it alone.
Yeah,
that's
you know
what
what I'm saying?
depression is. That's
Yeah.
how a lot of depression starts for us.
Right.
We shell in. The depression to make you not want to talk to nobody because you don't know how they're going to react. You don't know if they're going to hold it against you, look at you funny. Your relationship going to change. So you shelter in.
Yeah.
And we had that
That's the
fear
beginning
as
of
men
depression
about
for a lot of people.
fear of being judged, because everything when we're young boys about respect. Oh, nigga, you
How you
soft.
looked at, right.
You soft, man.
Right. Everything
in
is
the
built on
locker
respect.
room, in the barber shop, nobody wants to be the soft dude. You don't even want that label. So when we grow up, if you going through something that's really hit you in your mouth, you like,
Yeah,
it's killing you.
it's killing
You
you.
don't know how to let it out. You don't know what to
Silently
do with it.
suffering.
Yeah, for sure.
Crazy.
Definitely. So we definitely wanted to start something to where we just got a lot of feedback to, you know, people like, man, more men need to hear this, more men, you know,
man.
this is needed. And even from women, you know, wanting to hear guys talk about it. open it up and really express
Women
themselves.
I was them, I would.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, and then even, you know, even with some of my exes, it would be like, it's cool, you can go talk to your girlfriends about things, but a woman can't tell you how to be a man. Exactly. They've never been a man.
Exactly.
Never. So
that point of view or perspective.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's cool, but you really need to go back to the person that you're hurting or have said something to try to gain clarity versus try to go to, well, why he say, or why, you know, you're going around everybody else except for where the source is at. So yeah, it just started us to really talking more and opening up and really trying to present it to men that it's okay. It's really okay to talk. It's really okay to share your feelings because we all got our own paths that we went through. Exactly. Like you said, you got 10 brothers and sisters. I got 6. Wow. All of us got different paths that we went to. Same mom and dad, same everything. All of us took something different from them, right? We got our own experiences. You got your own experiences. So you share your experience and he shares his, and we go through and we see like, hey, we still men at the end of the day. Still men. Still got feelings, you know, and we want to be good men. So how are we shaping that to become the man that we want, you know, desire to be? So sharing that.
It starts with us.
Yeah.
We're the head.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and not head from a dictator standpoint,
exactly.
but we're supposed to set that tone for the fam.
That's what it is.
So set the tone for vulnerability. Set the tone for this is how spirituality and you know what I'm saying. So if we don't have the mental health, then it's gonna go bad. All bad.
And we
and
got you
from there.
We got you. Yeah. And we got to address the programming, the mindset programming, because we still running on this 400 years. We got a lot of elements that are behind the curtain, you know what I mean, that we haven't addressed, that got to be addressed.
Think
you know
about
what I mean?
That trauma. 400 years. You can say in your lifetime, something say if I'm 50 something and something happened to me when I was a child, I'm still traumatized. I'm still triggered by it. As a 400 years?
Exactly. But let me just say this.
DNA.
It's not that far along. My wife is 1 year older than me. She's not 50 yet, so I ain't gonna tell you my age. I ain't that old like that. You know what I mean? But her grandfather's grandfather, our father's father. Yeah, her grandfather's father was basically he was a slave and got freed. So she got the papers that was passed down. So just to give you perspective on how
not that far removed.
That ain't far. He got his papers and was freed, but that the grandfather still lived on a plantation and died. And then it was the son, which is my wife's grandfather, that actually really left the plantation. So you talking about that ain't long,
no,
bro.
That's not.
That ain't long. We talking about
with that being said, my mom picked cotton, bro, in Mississippi as a sharecropper. Picked cotton as a little girl during the summers.
Wow.
Cotton.
Ain't that far away,
It's
bro.
not that
Crazy.
far, bro.
For us to put each other through what we put each other through, that's what I be thinking about. Like, that's like saying that we just came from somewhere and we just made it out of a sundown town. And then when we get here, we all start fighting.
Right.
That's what we're at right now.
But that was baked in too. Because if it was the Willie Lynch.
Putting the young against the old.
Yeah.
The lighter dark against the darker dark.
Exactly.
It's
man against
colorisms, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right. I hate colorism. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
All that.
Yeah.
So here's the deal, man. Like I can tell that y'all the kind of guys we could be 4 hours in, man.
Yeah, we could be definitely be 4 hours in. We call it the black hole.
We fall in the black hole.
We call it the black hole. He's like, man, you in the black hole?
Yeah.
Go in the house and come right back, bro. Don't get caught up in the black hole.
Yeah, in that hour. What you was doing? You talking?
Oh nah, bro. If we was cool like that, we'd be in the black hole a lot because I enjoy it, But I know know y'all got to get to a rehearsal and everything, man. I just appreciate y'all coming. You know, we never know what it's going to be like. We never know what a person's story is, man. But
I appreciate you. Let me just say this to you, brother. We appreciate and we give you your flowers, both of y'all, man, because these are the platforms that's needed to change our community. How can we change our community? Like you just said, you know, it starts with the men. And not to be on the whole sexist or whole man is the head of the household thing, but just look at all the communities around the world and look at the communities where the man is in the right place.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, for sure.
It speaks for itself.
Yes, sir.
And look at us.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So, I mean, with this platform, I appreciate what you guys are doing. If you're watching this, please support them, share it, like it. Thank you for having us, man, and thank you for shining a light, man, for other men that need to come out of the darkness, man. So appreciate y'all.
Oh, for sure. Thank y'all, man. Much. Thank y'all, bro, for real.
So, hey, y'all, listen, y'all have been blessed because I know I've been blessed. Exactly. So we appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all take care. Peace.
Peace.